Now, so many of us are going through the different types of storms, and I know that when you're going through a storm, sometimes you ask yourself, is it just me? Is it the end of the road? Is my life ending? Is my relationship ending? Is my marriage ending? When I talk about marriage, I know that so many of you can think back at the storms that you have sailed before and the storms that you're currently going through, and sometimes you just don't see the light. Now, today we have a question. This question was brought in by Godfrey. And Godfrey, you were saying that I am tired of lashing out at my wife whenever she lashes out at me. And it's been years. You say 5 years. It's been 5 years of her yelling, lashing, and she has all these tantrums. And so sometimes it feels like it's a storm that has come. And sometimes I react the same way that she's reacting. And now I'm tired of reacting the same way she's reacting, because I feel like two adults cannot act like that. One, I have to be able to take a step back, but I don't know how to take a step back. And there are two words that you mentioned. You wanted to be calm and you wanted to be mindful. And it seems to me that you really want this marriage to work. And that is why we are here to actually talk about this.
It's actually a good place to start.
I know it's a good place to start, because then when I read his question, I just felt, I looked at so many marriages that are going through the same thing. Sometimes people will never come out to ask for help or even to ask, but they are going through something and they are reacting, and they've been reactionary for so many years, but they just don't know how to take a step back, to be mindful and to just be, to calm themselves in the face of a spouse that is irritable, agitated, frustrated, and they're throwing tantrums. Sometimes they just don't know how to handle it.
Oh boy. I feel for that guy. 5 years is a long time, you know.
Yeah, it is a long time.
Yeah, it is a long time under the same, where I'm going home, but no peace.
Yeah,
I'm going
someone
home,
is going to look for something.
Something, yes, and then you have to manage that every day. It's quite a storm, like you put it. It's really a storm.
It is.
I feel for that guy, though there are so many out there that are going through the same.
Millions, countless.
People may not exactly understand these conversations, but the way we drive these conversations is to only and only find a way to help, find a way to share our own experiences, and get someone to appreciate there is no perfect marriage out there. There is no perfect relationship out there, but we are on this road to improve ourselves every day, make ourselves better, and keep hoping and believing and praying that along the way things will get better. And for some of you who have approached us, who've come to us and have given us testimonies, and we really appreciate the fact that you come out and bold enough not to shy away from sharing your experiences. Beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. That's the way to go. That's how we help each other. You're looking good.
Thank you. You look awesome as well.
Thank you.
You look awesome.
Yeah.
And wow, the storm, when you talked about the storm, for me it just feels like a dark place. It just feels like a dark place. Someone just doesn't know what tomorrow holds, and they feel like they've been sailing endlessly on these waters, muddy waters. And now the beautiful thing that I really acknowledged about him, and I texted back and I told him that I love the fact that you have acknowledged that you have been reacting for the past 5 years, and now that means you are a super understanding man. By the time you get to a place and say, I want to take a step back, I want to be calm again. I used to be a calm person. I used to be so mindful about my words, but right now I feel like I am turning into something different that I don't want to turn into. And I told him that your children will be proud of you because you made this decision. And now that reminds me, there is a certain it was a quote, I don't know by who, but I remember reading it sometime, that you can't calm the storm, but you can calm yourself down and the storm will pass.
Yeah.
Like every storm passes.
Every storm passes. I remember Jesus, remember the storm?
Yes.
And he was sleeping in the storm. And so when he woke, everyone was reactionary to the storm, but the storm was stronger than your reaction. The storm needed inner peace more than your ability to react, because any day it
yes.
would sweep you, it would finish you, it would kill you. Just like when you're swimming, when you try to fight the waters, any day
They'll be
any day
stronger than
they will
you.
be
The
stronger
tide
than you.
will always be
So the
stronger.
best thing is to calm down, be at peace, and then the waters will carry you.
And guess what that shows is the authority.
That
You
you
remember
have.
that Jesus said, because when someone who has authority never lashes out. Like, I'm not in a hurry. When he says, be
So
still.
it's like to be in control.
Yes.
When you're in control, you have the sanity.
Yes.
Okay, you're sober enough to see things the way they are. When you react always, you miss out the point, because then you have to go back, keep going back. You understand? To undo a few things or to make right. Why? Because you were reactionary. The emotions in that moment cannot allow you to think straight. Withdrawing, taking time and thinking through things helps you to become more reasonable.
Yes.
Because it's in that moment that you're feeling the heat and the pain and everything. Everything is happening at the same time. And so you do not have room to work with your emotions. You'll only error. Okay? Yes, but when you withdraw, you realize that actually it's simple. After you've withdrawn,
You think?
I told you when a border guy, we were in traffic, and this border, after a very rough day, very, very rough day, and you're on your way trying to make your way home, and then this border guy just decides to come. I'm in traffic, I cannot move. He banged the car, kicked it, and while he was going, he kicked it again. I felt so bad.
The emotions.
I
welling
started
up.
boiling. And I don't know whether I should say thank God, I don't know. But then the traffic cleared. It just cleared. Hilda, I went direct
For the guy.
just to knock the guy. At that moment, it was all emotions
Yes.
at work. And I went for the guy. Thank God, the guy saw me coming. I think for once,
He used his side mirror.
and he saw me coming. He took off. I was like, you're joking.
I'm just
Nkutwala. I took the guy. He went off the road. I went off the road. I took the guy. I chased the guy. The guy drove into someone's compound, dropped the pitch there, and took off. And that's when I came back to my mind while I'm in someone's compound. Almost a half a kilometer or almost a kilometer away from the main road. And then I was like, what if this guy had a disease, fell, and probably
died?
I would end up in Ruzira. I would end up in prison. Okay? So
The heat of the moment and the reaction.
Exactly. Does not help. It's in the heat of the moment that we do regrettable things. So when
It's like you're drunk with emotions. You don't drink and drive. It's like you are driving with emotions, and here you are operating a machine. Anything could happen. Wow, reacting is really bad. Reacting is really bad.
Very bad.
And I just wanted us to talk about a little bit about reaction. I know this is not what we had planned to really delve into, but just to hint a little bit about the reaction now that you have started on it, especially when someone comes and lashes out, or someone comes and talks about and brings up not even a conversation, but a frustration. Okay, let's say the lady brings out a frustration, and you're trying to react to the lady. You realize that you're not going to pick the most important point in the frustration that has been brought. You're going to pick the weakest link, and that's what you're going to dwell on, because you feel attacked, because you feel like disrespected, you feel like someone is not communicating with you in a respectful manner. So for example, but that school that you chose for the children, I wonder what you were thinking when you chose that particular school. You get it now. I mean, I want to look at the scenario. This lady has brought that. Instead of you picking on the school issue to address the school issue in that manner, you're going to pick the disrespectful tone. And that's what you're going to react to. You're not going to react to the goodness or the badness of the school. Chances are you have already seen that the school is not that good, and you would want maybe to look for another school, but you were waiting for the term to get finished. But here you are, because someone has brought it in a disrespectful way, in a very bad tone. Now you're not thinking about the main point, you're thinking about the side point.
Very true. Now, I'll tell you, I like the fact that women are empowered. And I like the fact that the woman seated across is one of them that believes in empowering women. But when a woman fails to understand what it means to be empowered,
Yes.
they lose the point.
Yeah.
If I asked Hilda
That's very
here,
true.
she will tell you that her understanding of empowerment is totally different from some of the women that we have in our houses today.
Yes.
Our women think empowerment is not just to be same level with a man, okay, but to prove
A point, to be unreasonable. I even don't know. I'm looking for a better word to explain it.
And it's very painful because I'll tell you this, Hilda. Any man out there goes to hustle. When we go to hustle, when we go to add value to our family, when we go to find a future for the people we love, give them a future, give them stability, and take care of them, what we encounter is usually the worst. I can afford to be disrespected at my place of work.
Yeah, by someone else.
Because at least it pays me to disrespect me. I can afford to be disrespected by my business partner and a client, because there's something
or someone
at the end of the
government's
day,
office.
there's something at the end of the day for me to gain from that. So I can take that trash. I can take that beating. I can take that disrespect. We negotiate with people on the streets.
Yeah.
We negotiate with people that we know and people that we don't know.
Yeah.
And everything that we are doing as men is to try and forge a way forward for your family. Everything that you are doing at that point is for your wife, it's for your children.
Yeah.
And whatever that you need at that point is whatever that it takes for me to be able to go home with
Milk
rent,
and,
with bread
food,
and food for my children.
I will do it.
I will do it.
Yeah.
And Hilda, we go through the worst. We go through things that are totally unimaginable. Some things that we cannot even tell our wives. Some things that we cannot tell to the people that we care for or love. Because you're like,
this is my responsibility.
Okay? But we go through a lot. Now, what you need when you get home is to be received with love.
Yeah.
Not with judgment.
With respect.
It's to be received with love, not disrespect.
Yeah.
And Hilda, it really, really hurts because sometimes there are few men that can handle the pressure that they go through the day and be calm when they get home. You've come across men, waka, you understand, and he's carried all the stress. All the pressure from the streets back home, and he's quarreling because of a cup, he's quarreling because of a glass, he's kicking the
Everything
table
because
because at that point he's lost it from where he has come from. Wherever he's been,
Things have not been
it's
good.
not been good. It's really
been
been
one
bad.
trigger after another trigger.
Okay, URIS is closing the shop
Yeah.
because of IFRIS.
Yeah.
Okay.
People have not paid.
KCCA, you understand, is
Yeah.
doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Every email that is coming to him is from a bank saying, unless you pay, we're taking your property.
Yeah.
And sometimes, at that point, the guy may not be in his right mind to get back home and still stay sane and sober. Those are the kind of men who get home and something as small as a glass, chimuyombya nakuba n'omuntu. He can easily, slap someone. Okay, now just imagine that kind of man going back to that kind of woman.
Oh.
Think about it, that she will not be slapped or kicked.
It's painful.
You understand? Now, when you have an opportunity as a woman to have the kind of man who can be able to handle his pressure at work and will still be your husband and a loving husband and a loving father,
To your
and is
children.
trying to bottle, because we bottle up a lot as men. You know, as I say, there are certain things that you wouldn't even be proud to say. There are certain things you wouldn't want to sit down with your wife and even have
And
a
discuss.
conversation, because you're like, will she understand?
The magnitude, the
Okay?
heaviness.
Yes, will she understand, or I will be breaking her?
Yeah.
So we bottle up a lot. No wonder. Okay?
No gut touch, you know,
No,
you
no,
add
no wonder.
to this.
No wonder we die sometimes prematurely as men, because what we bottle up and what we carry and
It's
keep
huge.
to ourselves is a lot. Now, what a man needs is to go back to a woman who will receive him and tell him, honey, are you okay? What can
Welcome
I
home.
do to help? Because the stress will show.
Yeah.
It will show. You know, when you go back home and things have been good, there are those days you go back home and things are
have
really
been
good.
good,
You know,
yeah.
you had this deal, you had this, you're all happy. You get back home and everyone can see that you're happy.
Yeah.
But there are those days that you go back and it's bad. And all that you need is someone to just receive you, and for only once, not tell you every bad thing you've done.
Yeah.
Or tell you everything that you've not been able to do right.
In the past 10 years.
You understand. What you need is someone to receive you and say, honey, feels like you're not okay. Can we hold hands and pray? I feel like something you're not telling me.
Or
Can we talk?
give him something that you really think will calm him down.
Something
a
like
food,
that.
a juice, a
juice,
coffee,
exactly.
something. Sit with him. Don't ask so many things. Wow. And because we're talking on the side of the man, in this particular conversation, I don't feel the need of, because some women are like, but some men, we are not talking about all the others that are doing wrong things, that have bad manners. That will be for another day. This is for a good man that is trying to forge a life for his family. And he's saying, I want to learn how to calm down. I want to learn how to be mindful, because this is what I meet at home every single day. I go back with my stresses and all I meet are frustrations.
Yeah.
I go back with my stresses and I meet disrespect. I go back with my stresses and there's no commitment, because anytime it's like, I wonder why I even got married to you. I think it's better even pack up and go. Like every time there's a pack up and go, pack up and go, pack up and go. Until some people are like, I think to get some peace, indeed, I should let her go.
Yep.
Some good men have let women go.
Yep.
Because they're like, you know what? You owe at every instance. You're telling me you are going. That means there is no commitment. So I would rather I let you go. So I want us to give this gentleman some tools. And some tools, one of the things that I really thought about was definitely they need help, especially the woman needs help, because if the man takes everything personally, chances are, just imagine, you grow up in a family that does not nurture you well, does not nurture you, because we say charity begins at home. Respect begins at home. Many of the things that I do, for example, for you or to you, are things that I learned in my home. And imagine, I grew up from a broken home. But even when it was a broken home, there are certain essentials and values that I learned that I do till today. And I feel like those have made our marriage very strong and have put us on a very proper footing. Now, just imagine someone coming from an opposite family, a family where insulting is the norm of the day, where name calling is the name of the day, labeling is the name of the day. Now, when you take things personally, when someone labels you and you take that label, for example, you are a very careless, useless man, and you take the label of being useless personally, just know that the other person has a problem. What they are showing you, what they are uttering, what they are putting on you is as a result of bad upbringing, is as a result of them not controlling themselves, is as a result as in they're fighting with something themselves. So when you take it personally and you personalize it and say, I think the whole of me, everything I can amount to is useless. And people have taken those words, because when someone you love says something, it's like you give it meaning.
Hilda, in a home, we have chances to build a family together. Husband and wife working and walking toward one common goal, having a family. But I can assure you there are so many who are living together and they are roommates.
Yeah, exactly. Housemates. They just report back to sleep, but no love.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we slide into that space slowly. And these are some of the things that will get someone to a place where it feels like this is just my roommate.
Yeah.
And you know, when you have a roommate, it's a matter of time. You wait for the project to close.
I know. And then everyone will take their own way.
Their own way.
No wonder it becomes so simple.
Yeah.
To bid farewell.
Because you're just a roommate. Okay? And then we realize that the men today, reason as to why they fear marriage is because he doesn't want to get into a marriage, commit to someone who will eventually become a roommate.
Yeah.
What is it that a man is looking for? He's looking for a natural.
Yeah.
What is it that a man is looking for? He's looking for a wife. A wife
In
to
every
mean
sense
a
of a wife.
mother of his children. Wife to me and a mother to my children. He's looking for support. He's looking for an encourager,
A partner.
a prayer partner,
A teammate.
someone who shares the values. You understand?
Yeah.
And those are the things that I cannot get from a roommate.
Yeah.
We just share a room. We just wait until the day comes when we have to take separate ways.
And roommates can even be friends with benefits.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And it's so easy to take separate ways.
Okay? So most of our young men today are like, I can get children out of wedlock.
I don't need to commit.
I don't need to commit.
What am I committing to?
Yeah. I don't want to.
Because they've seen others who have been
Yeah.
hurt.
And so something that's happening to the women as well.
Yeah.
They're also thinking the same.
Yeah.
That I don't think I want commitment. With what I have seen, all that I need is just some children.
Yeah, and I can have children without a man.
And I don't think I need a man. They call men burdens. I don't need a burden.
Why is this?
Now you
generation
realize
going
that this is a direct attack
on
to family.
Yeah.
And that is the unit that God uses to
Build a
this
nation.
world.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And the devil is taking that away
The
from us
strongest unit.
while we are seeing. Why? Because a man has not done his part.
Taken his position.
And a woman has not taken her position.
Yeah.
So that both can play their roles and their roles can bring that sanity of a home and a family.
Wow.
The thing that guy has been going through for the last 5 years, he's a very strong man because most people will not allow that to go for even a year.
Yeah.
They will not. Then what's the difference?
Patience. We
what's
no longer have patience.
Yes,
these
what's the
days.
difference between having a support, a woman, a wife, and having a girlfriend? I can afford to quarrel with a girlfriend.
Because then you're not committed to them. Anytime
Exactly.
they can part ways.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. No future. I don't care.
But there are girlfriends who are more respectful than even the wives, some of the wives. There are so many. As in, there are so many that are committed, even when there is no ring, but they are committed, they care, they pray for even their boyfriends.
Yeah, they do.
They encourage their boyfriends. And now someone takes you from a position of a girlfriend to a wife, and not just a wife, but a mother. And what the best you can do is get knives and start poking at him every time, instead of asking yourselves, just like the Bible says, can two walk together unless they agree?
I will tell you, there is no perfect marriage. All marriages that you look at and admire, they work and work and work.
Every day.
I was telling my wife yesterday, when I go out there, as in on a day, and I cannot return home without buying something, however small, for her. And she's here, she's a witness.
I know.
Sometimes I come with gonja in a paper foil
And maize. Roasted
and
maize.
I'm like, wherever I was thinking about you.
And you know how that makes me feel?
And it may look like it's a small thing, but it simply sends a very strong signal, and I know, and I'm saying it, she's here,
Yep.
to my wife, that I love you And I care.
And I think about you.
And I'm always thinking about you.
Even when I'm not with you.
Exactly. So it is work that you put in
every day
that makes it
special and sweet
and different. But otherwise, is it true that we disagree on certain things?
Yes.
Exactly. We disagree. We do. But that does not mean we are not in agreement. We disagree to agree. Where I feel you are right, it does not take away my place as a man by saying
to acknowledge
you are right. I see your point. You understand?
Yeah.
That does not make me less of a man. It makes me more man. That when I see something that is not right, I can call it by name. And when you see it and tell me, I can change.
Yeah. And I'll bring it up in a respectful and a polite manner to make sure that I'm not just chastising, but I am telling you this might not be good. So you realize that just like he says, marriage is work. It's not something that a boat that you get into and you sail forever. Just like the songs that say, by the time someone says that, you know what, we will get old together, it's because they are willing to put in the work. They're willing to be intentional every single day to make it work and to make it stick. Let's take a breather. When we get back, we continue from there.